Hi, this is Rannvijay Singh and you're watching Bollywood Eye.
Now I want to come on to your life after Roadies. I mean, you've starred in some of the biggest Punjabi films, Bollywood films. I mean, can you talk to us about firstly how you got there and then experience of working, like you said, with Salman Khan?
My dad is still serving in the Indian Army.
Yeah.
I'd be the 6th generation of my family to join the army, and in 2003 I cleared my exams and I was going to the academy. I had 2 months off where I saw an advert on the television saying that if you win this show you get a bike, and I was a bike lover, so I was like, hey, I'm going to be in the army, I'll be a second lieutenant or a lieutenant and I'll have a bike, I won't have to spend money. That's the reason I went for Roadies. When I went for Roadies, is the first time I saw life outside the army. In the army, in Indian Army, we have a really good protected life. It's amazing. It's outdoorsy, there's sports, there's adventure camps, and there's very good culture and everything. So I always wanted to live that life. But when I went for Roadies, I saw a good culture of work there.
Yeah.
Work ethics, hard-working people, and people who are thinking of stuff and making it happen. It's very creative. It's not regimented.
Yeah.
And I'm like that. I was like, okay, so these guys thought of these tasks. These tasks don't really, they're not out there. It's not like you're going to a park and going on a ride. You've thought of, okay, we'll go there, there'll be river crossing and they'll have to pick this up and they'll have to make their food. So it's very creative and it's hard work.
Yeah.
So I really liked it. And then they said that we want to do something. I gained some popularity and the internet was new and, you know, and they said we should do something with this boy, and they had nothing in their head, no plans. But I was like, I don't want to be in the army and 10 years later think that I could have done something else. So I told my dad. Of course, there was a bit of resistance everywhere, but they supported me. And they said, okay, so we decided as a family that if it doesn't happen in a year, we can, you go back to the army.
Yeah, and that's a pretty fair deal, to be honest.
Very fair deal, yeah. And for 9 months, of course, everybody has their struggle. Mine was about 9 months.
Yeah.
And which is another story. But since that day, I'm a very filmy person.
Yeah.
Even if I went to the army, I'd be watching 2 to 3 films on a day that I was free.
Yeah.
Like on a Sunday, like yesterday I saw Godfather 2 at the BFI.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing Al Pacino week.
Yeah.
So so I love films, and now I was so close to them and fitting into people's scripts as a cool dude, as a DJ, part of a rock band,
Yeah.
Rocky, you know, how typical, because of the personality that was seen on MTV.
Yeah.
I started reading scripts, and some of them actually had some meaty roles.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like the next step for me to do.
Yeah.
And London Dreams happened. And now you get a call from Vipul Shah, who's done Namaste London, before that Waqt, Aankhein, and he calls you in the office, cool guy, and says, I want you to do a film, it's a rock band, you guys are really cool. You know, Aditya Roy Kapoor, by the way, who's the biggest thing right now. And it's with Salman Khan and Ajay Devgan. I already knew Salman because I did an MTV interview with him, and he knew that I was into bikes. He made me do some wheelies outside, and he says, you come over. And then, you know, he was the guy who actually, he was going to Dubai, and he said, Ron, I need you to do me a favor. I was like, Salman Khan, of course. What is it? Bhai. He said, I want you to take care of my bike for 3 days. He knew that I'm a young 21-year-old boy who's never been on a super bike, and that's my dream. You know, you have small dreams. And of course, it was not a favor. He just wanted me to take care, have an experience. And that was my first super bike experience. That's the kind of guy that he is. He recognizes what people want, even if it's a superficial thing or if it's a thing that's really deep-rooted.
Yeah.
He knows it. He's a human being. He understands people's feelings.
Yeah.
So much so that London Dreams happened. Aditya Roy Kapoor and me were in London, living in central London at St. James's Court, at one of the best locations. And you know, the work days were either 7 to 4, or if we're shooting nights, it'd be 5 to 4. Yeah. So what do you do the rest of the time? We're young. So I said, we're gonna, and I had relatives and friends and everything. So I said, Addy, we're gonna have the best time ever. For 45 days, we used to go out, and obviously Salman Khan, you know, his reality is different, but he recognized that we're young boys. He used to make sure that every night that we went out partying, instead of spending our own 5, 10, 15 pounds to eat kebabs, He said, you come back home to my room, I'd be either sleeping. If I'm not, then we'll eat together, but there'll be food for you. The door used to be open at 4:30 in the morning. We used to go back. If he's awake, great. Have a good time and eat again. Or he would just sleep. He would be sleeping. You go to another room. He was in a suite. And there would be food for us. Now, this is something that you're getting into Bollywood with the biggest stars and you feel like a younger brother. And I'm the eldest everywhere. My dad's side, mom's side, everything. And I just felt like there's somebody who's not saying, hey, you guys need money. It's not like I'm getting paid for a movie by somebody. It was just so genuine.
Yeah.
That was how we were welcomed into Bollywood, man. And after that, we did Action Replay again with Vipul Shah.
Yeah.
Akshay Kumar, Aishwarya Rai, and this role is, I'm fighting for Aishwarya Rai. It's not funny. It's yeah. So what?
Every guy's dream.
And I only lose to Akshay Kumar, who's like my idol. Like I look up to him. He's the fittest guy.
Yeah.
So I'm only losing to him, and that's also it's a comedy set in the 70s. So back to back those 2 years, we did those two films.
Yeah.
While I was doing those two films, of course, a lot of small films started happening. I had a film called Ekant, a film called Sharafat Gayi Te Lene. They're still not released. So every actor has these things. Yeah. It's not that, oh, the biggest Bollywood films. A lot of things I've done which people don't know about because they haven't released. And we've struggled with those films. Now, then one of the most important times of my life when Nagesh Kukunoor called me.
Absolutely beautiful film.
Renowned
really good film.
Directors, and so well respected.
Yeah.
And in this whole world of commercial Indian film industry, he's this one guy who just does the things that he wants to do. He called me and I was like, oh my god, this is serious. And then I did a series of auditions, cleared all of them, felt heavy every day after doing an audition with him because they just drained my energy because they were so serious. It's not like Action Replay anymore or London Dreams. And then I did Mode, which took things to another level for me, acting wise.
That's the film I absolutely love.
Yeah, everybody then said, hey, he's not just a cool looking guy with an eyebrow piercing or a funky hairstyle. He's somebody who can act.
Yeah.
He's really nice. And then Nagesh Kukunoor is like a family friend now. Yeah. My younger brother assisted him in his next film, which just won the Palm Springs.
Is that the film Lakshmi? Lakshmi.
That's my brother was the first AD. So that girl Lakshmi is doing her second film with me, and my younger brother is acting in it. It's called Mango. Abbas Tyrewala.
That was my next question.
Yeah. So things keep happening. Meanwhile, Roadies was happening. I did Stunt Mania. I produced my own show called Rannvijay Run, which has done extremely well. I was in Liverpool, Scotland, Worthing, doing different extreme sports with Red Bull athletes. The fact that I had such a secure career where I was doing things that I wanted to didn't make me do things that people have to do.
Yeah.
And my kitchen was running with MTV. It still is. And it's such a sense of security because any show that I do does really well because so I'm not doing films that I don't want to do. There were offers of films that if I had done, my career would be over. I'm still, even if there's no super duper blockbuster hit as a solo hero, I'm still getting solo hero films as lead. And as soon as you play friends and friends of people, you get typecast. And so, thankfully, because I was doing MTV, I didn't need to do any of those roles. And Punjabi films happened. Jimmy Shergill's office called me saying Jimmy wants to meet me. What a guy, great guy. What a following in Punjabi films. Great actor. Any Hindi film that he's in, he's always great.
Yeah.
Whether the film does well or not, he is great. Yeah. And he said, come on, this is a role, Dharti, young, youthful, this thing. Role's fairly small. But whenever it's there, everybody said, yeah, this guy, we want to see a little more of him. So I like the role. I said, I'll do it. Punjabi film. I'll get a good foot with a film which is going to be seen for sure with Jimmy. Dharti did really well. They dubbed it in Hindi. The rights have been sold. So you keep seeing it on different Hindi channels. Did Tor Mitrandi, which is Jimmy Shergill Productions. The foresight of me doing Dharti was that I'll be doing a film with them. And it happened. With Amrinder Gill, who's hugely known across the world, Australia, Canada. So as soon as my relatives for the past 8 years since I did London Dreams said, oh, Punjabi picture kadon karunga? So when I started doing Punjabi films, you connect with Punjabis across the world, which was great because now when I go to Canada, I'm doing everywhere. There's there's a certain fan base who sees Punjabi films. Then I did Ishq Garari, which was funny and hilarious. And now with Mango,
Yeah.
and another film that I have just started, I'm in the middle of it. I go back on the 9th of March, I'm shooting in the night. It's called 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It's a horror film. This guy called Vishal Matkar,
Yeah.
who made Blood Money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Is that Vishesh Films?
that was a Vishesh film.
Vishesh
This is
film?
a Z film.
Z Films.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And so Salil, who's a B4U VJ, right?
Yes,
very
yes,
famous
yes.
in England.
Ashki too, he was in.
Yes, so Salil
yes.
is in the film.
Okay.
He's my friend.
Great.
And a new girl called Anandita. She's done 2 films and she'll be in it. Now, the sense that I'm getting from the director is that he wants to make a horror film,
Yeah.
not a cheesy horror, or I would call it sexual horror, or it's. He says, you know, when we watch a horror film, there are so many other things added for the audience to come and see. So if
Yeah.
you don't want to watch horror, you watch that song, you watch that beautiful heroine,
Yeah.
you watch the heroine running in a nightie. It's not that. It's horror like kind of films that we like, The Ring, you know, The Grudge, a horror film. So I'm like, if this guy's intent is right, so what if the film doesn't do well? The intent is right, the script is great.
Good.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So we're doing it. We'll finish it by the 8th or 9th of April. I've already shot for 4-5 days before
Fantastic.
coming in. Yeah.
When is that film going to be releasing?
That
End of
will
the-
be June or July.
Okay.
Mango is releasing on the 25th of April.
Fantastic, because I remember watching the launch of the film when it was in Goa.
Yeah, yes,
So that's
yes.
very exciting.
So Chandan Roy Sanyal, he's also come with me.
Yeah.
We become friends, and my younger brother is the third actor in the
Yes.
film, Harmanjeet.
Yes.
He's also here.
Yeah.
So all 3 of us are here, and we're going to be promoting the film together. We're going to be spending so much time together. So yeah, that's what happens in films. You know, you spend 30-35 days in locations where you're the only friends. If you don't get along, life is bad. But
Yeah.
we always end up getting along, and we have more and more friends every film that I do.
Good. And the final question, really, any messages for your huge fan base out there?
You say huge, and I don't understand how it's happened because it wasn't the plan. I'm really thankful to everybody who loves me or the work that I do. I wish I could give it back personally, but all I can do is I think people should end up doing what they love. It brings happiness to them. As soon as it brings happiness to them, to their families, society, everybody's involved. As soon as you're happy doing what you do, even if you're not earning as much. And I'll give you examples like Nagesh Kukunoor. Out of my own life, me, my dad, Nagesh Kukunoor was doing so well in 1992, was earning, I think, $100,000 or whatever, which was a young.
Yeah.
He left all of it because he wanted to make films. Today he's happy.
Yeah.
Money followed. He made a movie which is a study in most film academies. How did he make a film in 17 lakh rupees?
Which is nothing.
Hyderabad Blues, and it did so well.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's a guy who's now happy. Otherwise he'd be a CEO, lots of money, but not happy.
Yeah.
Yeah? Apart from that, I think, I don't know about the youth in England and the Indian youth in Canada and America, but the youth in India is a bit, what I keep telling them, I go to schools and colleges and I keep telling them that social media is there to share your experiences of what you've done today.
Yeah.
In the night you go and you tell your friends. You want to share a trek. You want to share your basketball match. Your experience in life cannot be social media. Right? It's there. It's a great thing to tell people what you did.
Yeah.
But it can't be what you did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's one place where I think you gotta spend quality time, but not excess time. A lot of kids are chilling and hanging out, whereas they should be falling off their bicycles and trees.
Yeah.
In India.
Yeah.
Running around playing sport. Of course, education is important, but if you want your son or daughter to look good and present themselves and speak well, they need to have confidence, which comes from sports. They need to know, do you know that you're dependable? You don't. But when you're running a race and somebody falls and looks at you and not the other guy, you know that you're dependable. And when they don't look at you, you question yourself, why didn't he ask me for help?
Yeah.
How will you know that in a classroom? How do you know when you're hiding what you're writing in an exam?
You wouldn't.
Right? So if you want your son or daughter to be in a boardroom and make sense, and people to look up to him, or people to know that he's the right guy to give orders to, that comes from sports, extra co-curricular activities and all that. So that should be encouraged. And that's it, man. Sleep is overrated when you're young, is what I think. You should work, enjoy, and there'll be times after you're 30 you can keep sleeping for 8 hours, 9 hours, which is also important. But till then, make the best out of the 24 hours that you have.
Good. That is a fantastic message, Rannvijay. Thank you so much. And all the best for
I
your
practice
films.
what I preach.